Real quick, let me bust this down. So a lot of our people say, hey man, if we God's chosen children, are we the chosen people of God, then why we at the bottom of society? Why we got the why we in the worst conditions in the ghetto? Why this? Why that? Why this? Why that? That's the question you should be asking, fam. That's the exact question you should be asking. When somebody asks me that, I know they have a good spirit in them. The good spirit gonna say that. The evil spirit gonna say, who wrote the first Bible? That's what somebody who got an evil spirit gonna say. So you're gonna be able to tell an evil spirit from a good spirit right off top. So let's get the answer to that question though. We're gonna go to Deuteronomy 28:1. Now remember, in the times of Deuteronomy, I explained this before. In the times of Deuteronomy, that's Moses talking to the Israelites in the wilderness. Your proof of that is Deuteronomy 1:1. Now, the reason why I like to stay back here because it's very important to understand that the first 5 books of the Bible is the law of Moses, and it's very important to understand that those first 5 books was given to Moses by God to give to the Israelites in that wilderness. You got to understand that. Now, let's get the answer to the $1 million question. They want to know if we God's chosen children, how we end up at the bottom of society. Let's get that. Deuteronomy 28:1. This Moses talking to the Israelites in the wilderness. Watch this. And it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently into the voice of the Lord. So God's saying, if you shall hearken diligently, mean listen. Let's read it again. And it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently into the voice of the Lord, thy God, to observe and do all his commandments, which I command thee this day, the Lord thy God will set thee high above all nations on the earth. So Moses told the Israelites in the wilderness, your forefathers, hey, I just came down from Mount Sinai from talking to God. He told me to tell y'all, if y'all follow the commandments that he gave y'all, he gonna put y'all high above all nations. All the other nationalities on the earth, he gonna put you above them. Now look, in today's time, where we at? We at the bottom of society, right? So what that mean? That mean we didn't hearken to the voice of the Lord. Because he told you, if you listen to me, I'm gonna put you above all nations. We at the bottom. So that means we didn't listen. I'm gonna give you an example of some of the things that he told us to do that we didn't listen. He told you not to mix races in Deuteronomy 7:3. You still do that to this day. He was talking to the Israelites in the wilderness. That's why we at the bottom. He told you not to eat pork in Leviticus 11:7. We still eat that. That's why we at the bottom. Numbers 15:38. He told you to wear fringes when you come outside your household. You don't do that. That's why we at the bottom. You're not doing what he told you to do. If you tell your child, I'm going to get you the new PlayStation 5 for cleaning up their room, and they don't clean it up, do they still get the PlayStation 5? Or do they go on punishment? You are being punished for not listening, fam. He told you to follow the Sabbath. Anybody that don't do that, going to be surely put to death. Do our people do that? No. He told men to wear a beard. Do our people do that? No. No. I can go down the line of things that's in the Bible. Remember the law of Moses. They don't know what that is. So how could you remember it? That's a commandment. Now remember, he told you, if you follow all these commandments and hearken into the voice of the Lord, I'm going to put you above all nations. Let's go to 15 though. Watch this here. This the catch right here, 15. But it shall come to pass, this Moses still talking to the Israelites in the wilderness. But it shall come to pass, if thou would not hearken. Remember that word hearken, mean listen. But it shall come to pass, if thou would not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe and do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee. He also told the Israelites, hey, if y'all don't listen to God, these curses gonna come upon our nation and overtake us. So the blessings and curses, they really do's and don'ts. Cause and effect. Because you did this, this is the effect. If you kill somebody in today's time, because you did that, what'll be the effect of that? You going to jail. It's just like in the Bible, cause and effect. Because you did this, this is why we at the bottom. Let's keep going. Watch this here. Deuteronomy 28:47. Watch this here, y'all. Because thou servest not the Lord thy God with joyfulness. God wants you to serve him with joyfulness. The same joyfulness you get when you get your check. The same joyfulness you get when you with your boyfriend. The same joyfulness that you get when you with your children. He wants you to have that same type of joyfulness when you serve him. 47, let's read that again. Because thou servest not the Lord thy God with joyfulness and with gladness of heart, but the abundance of all things. All you have to do is serve him, or all you got to do is serve him. He gonna give you the abundance of all things. Remember, he told you gonna put you above all nations. All you have to do is serve him, or all you have to do is serve him for the abundance of all things. But since you don't want to do that, it's saying 48 what's going to happen to you. Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies. God says, since you don't want to serve me, I'm going to have you serve your enemies. 48. Therefore thou shalt serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee. The only reason that them other nations on top, the white man, the Arab man, the Chinese man, only reason those people on top is because God put them on top. He's a jealous God. Oh, you don't want to serve me? I got you. I know what to do to you. I'm going to have you serve your enemies that you love so much, since you love their customs, their Christmas, their birthdays, since you love them so much. I'm going to have you serve them and want of all things. Everything that you want, you have to go to your enemy for. In today's time, you got a table in your house, where you get that from? If you want to go get a car, where you get that from? If you want to go get a house, where you get that from? Oh, I got a black realtor. Okay, don't even have to deal with the bank. Think, fam. Oh, I got my own business. Where you get that registration from to do business? Where you get that from? The food in your house, where you get that from? The curriculum in school, who come with that? The judicial system that we deal with, who over that? When it comes to the infrastructure, who building that? The medicines in our neighborhood, who over that? He say, since you don't want to serve me, you going to serve your enemies in want of all things, in hunger and in thirst. Like I just said, food, where you get that from? Water, where you getting that from? And in want of all things, fam. That's why you at the bottom. Remember, they saying we God's chosen people. How we at the bottom? That was the question. And let me show you that you are God's chosen children. Let's get that. Deuteronomy 7:6. We didn't want to hearken to the voice of the Lord, just like how we don't want to do it today. But we wonder why we at the bottom of society. We still want to know that though. Let's go. Deuteronomy 7:6. Remember, this is Moses talking to the Israelites in the wilderness. The whole Deuteronomy. Your proof of that, Deuteronomy 1:1. These be the words Moses spake to all Israel this side of Jordan in the wilderness. That's your proof. Let's read Deuteronomy 7:6. For thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God. God say, you holy unto me. These people are separate from everybody else. Let's read that again. For thou art a holy people unto the Lord thy God. The Lord thy God has chosen thee, which is you. Remember, he talking to the Israelites. Nobody else was there. The Lord thy God has chosen thee to be a special people unto himself. That's like being a child and say, I don't want nobody else playing with my toys. He say, they mine. He chose you to be a special people unto himself, above all people that are on the face of the earth, fam. That's what it say. This is why they don't want you to know about color. This is why they don't want you to know about lineage. Because it really ain't about color, it's about lineage. This is why he don't want you mixing races. Because it's confusing, fam. Let's get something out the Apocrypha, though. That's the Bible. Let's get something out the Apocrypha. All right, y'all. Let's get some more. We're going to go to the Apocrypha. We're going to go to Baruch 2. Baruch 2. Watch this, y'all. Therefore the Lord have made good on his word. When he say have made good on his word, it mean he going to stand on what he said he was going to do to you. He told you in Deuteronomy, if you don't hearken to the voice of the Lord, that all these curses going to come upon you. And we can see that he stood on what he said he was going to do. That's all we just read. The Lord made good on his word. If I tell you I'm going to give you $100 and I make good on that word, then what that mean? I stood on what I said. That's what God said. I'm going to stand on what I told y'all, what I was going to do to y'all if y'all don't hearken into my voice. I'm going to show you how he stood on it. He scattered you across all four corners of the earth. He scattered you. You way over here in America. Talking about you African American. And he told you you ain't going to have your name no more. And you're going to be speaking another language. He told you that was going to happen to you in Deuteronomy. That's him standing on it. You can see he did that because we in America, ain't we? Do we speak Hebrew? No, we speak English. We talking about we African American. Your last name Jackson, Johnson, or something like that. Your last name ain't Israel. So he stood on what he said he was going to do to you. If you don't follow the Sabbath, he's going to kill you. He's going to stand on that. He's going to stand on that, fam. When you seen them people get killed in that grocery store at that Tops, or you seen them people get killed at in Jacksonville at that Dollar General, that's him standing on what he said, bro. I told you niggas, if you don't follow my Sabbath, I'm going to kill you. You seen them people die at that Halloween party? That's God standing on what he said. I told you niggas, if y'all celebrate pagan holidays, I'm going to kill you. I'm going to kill you. When you see our people dying at 40-something from cancer and gout and heart attack from eating pork, that's God standing on what he said he was going to do to you niggas for eating that. Baruch 2, let's read it again. Therefore the Lord made good on his word which he pronounced against us and against our judges that judged Israel. Not everybody. That's why you don't see police brutality happen to them other nations, because these are plagues and curses that God gave to you. Let's read it again. Baruch 2:1. Therefore the Lord made good on his word which he pronounced against us and against our judges that judged Israel and against our kings and against our princes and against the men of Israel and Judah. Only Judah getting killed through police brutality. You can't make it up. Let's go to the next one too. To bring upon us great plagues such as never seen under the whole heaven. You ain't never seen monkeypox. You ain't never seen that. You ain't never seen COVID-19. You ain't never seen that. You ain't never seen the type of breed of children that you seeing in today's time. You ain't never seen that. You ain't never seen that. He say he gonna bring on us plagues you ain't never seen. You ain't never seen. Facts, fam. We read. Two, let's read it again. To bring upon us great plagues, such as never happened under the whole heaven, as it came to pass in Jerusalem, according to the things that were written in the law of Moses. Law of Moses, the first 5 books of the Bible: Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy. We just read what God said he was gonna do to you in Deuteronomy, but not listening to the law of Moses. Them same laws that he gave Moses on that mountain. Let's get one more. Watch this. Baruch 3 and 7. And for this cause, remember, this all about why we at the bottom of society if we God's chosen church. That's what this about. We did not hearken into the voice of the Lord or the law of Moses or the whole Bible period. Baruch 3 and 7. And for this cause, thou hast put fear in our hearts to the intent that we should call upon his name. He said he's going to put so much fear in your heart, you're going to have to call his name. You're going to have to call his name. You're going to get tired of seeing what happened to George Floyd and all these other people. You're going to get tired of seeing it. You're going to have to call my name. You're going to get tired of being broke. You're going to have to call my name. That's what that's saying. 7, let's read it again. And for this cause, thou hast put thy fear in our hearts to the intent that we should call upon his name and praise thee in our captivity. We are still slaves today. So in today's time when you broke, you calling him in your captivity. Today's time when you see what happened to Trayvon Martin and all these people, you gonna call him in your captivity. That's what we just read. Let's read it again. 7. And for this cause, thou hast put thy fear in our hearts to the intent we should call upon his name and praise thee in our captivity. For we have called to mind all the iniquities of our forefathers. That's what you're doing when you went back to the Bible. You start calling upon all the iniquities of your forefathers. You start remembering all the things that King David did. You start remembering some of the sins that our people did back in the Bible, and you start correcting yourself. He's going to make you do that in your captivity in 2023. 8, let's read the next one. This is the last one. Behold, we are yet this day in our captivity. Baruch 3 and 8. Let's read that again. Behold, we are yet this day in our captivity, where thou, which is God, has scattered us. Has scattered us. That's how we got over here in America. That's how we got scattered. Transatlantic slave trade. You was transported across the Atlantic as a slave. God told us that was going to happen to us in Deuteronomy, not hearkening into the law of Moses. Facts. Let's read that again. 8. Behold, we are yet this day in our captivity, where thou, which is God, has scattered us for a reproach and a curse. Remember, he told us he's going to curse you for not listening to the law of Moses. For a reproach and a curse, and to be subject to payment. You don't supposed to be paying no bills right now, fam. You don't supposed to be working for nobody else. You don't supposed to, definitely not the white man. You don't supposed to be working for him. This is a punishment when you have to pay the light bill. This is a punishment when you have to pay rent. This is a punishment when you have to pay the car note. He said you're going to be subject to payments because you didn't want to listen to me. Why you worry about how you going to do this and how you going to do that, but you're not worried about how you going to follow God's law. So since you're not worried about that, make his light bill $800. Double it this time. Since you ain't worried about that, make him have a flat on the road. Make him spend an extra $50 that he really didn't have. Since you ain't worried about them laws, make him get fired for his job today. You know, he don't need that. I need him to come back to me. He believe in his job, his supervisor. I need him to believe in me. Take his job away from him. You going to work, no, and lose your job. And lose your job, fam. You better wake up, fam, and come into the truth of this Bible and stop listening to them people.